Spencer Lee is down by 7 points and still wins. Shane Van Ness loses to Austin Gomez. Panero Johnson gets taken down in sudden victory. Let's talk about it. How's it going, everybody? My name is Jesse and welcome to My Wrestling Show, the place where we talk about the greatest sport in the world. And we had a big weekend of college wrestling, and I want to go down weight by weight and see what we learned and what it might mean for the rest of the season. Starting off with none other at 125 pounds, Spencer Lee. Spencer Lee wrestled Matt Ramos, and Spencer Lee gets taken down very quickly, gets the escape, and then Matt Lee lateral drops Spencer Lee straight to his back for 2 points for a takedown and then 4 more back points. Matt Ramos is up 8-1 over Spencer Lee. But then Spencer Lee does Spencer Lee things. He gets the escape, he comes back, and he gets the victory. He still pins Matt Ramos in the first period to get the win. So some people might think when they watch this match that Spencer Lee might be vulnerable. There's a chance he might not win the national title. I see this match and I'm even more confident Spencer Lee is going to win his 4th national title this year. Because in most cases, when you get up by 7 points against a top 10 guy, that match is over. You can go ahead and put it in the books. That match is over. But Spencer Lee, you can never count him out. He's such a pin threat. He scores so many points. You could be up 8, 9, 10 points and you are not safe versus Spencer Lee. And so for that reason, I'm even more confident he's going to win his 4th national title this year. The other thing, Spencer Lee was super emotional after this win. He was jacked up, which we typically don't see from Spencer Lee. My guess tells me this is just some emotion that he's releasing from being maybe frustrated from the injuries over the course of the past couple years, where he finally feels good, fresh, and he's wrestling good. And so some of that frustration / excitement is coming out, and we're seeing it. Spencer Lee getting all jacked up at the end of his matches. At 133 pounds, we had Vito Arujau beat Mikael McGee. Then we had Sam Latona beat Vito Arujau. So what does this all mean? And what do we take away from this? Vito looked a little bit off his game in both of these matches. The more I watch Vito, the more it makes sense that he can go to the Olympic trials, beat Dayton Fix, make the Olympic trials finals, and then in the college season, lose to Pat Glory, then major Pat Glory, and then a few weeks later, get majored by Pat Glory. Vito can be a little up and down. I'm a little bit less confident now of his ability to beat RBY and Dayton Fix in folk style, but it really is going to depend on what version of Vito Arujau we see at the national tournament. And the one thing I noticed with Vito over this weekend with Mikael McGee, and especially in his loss to Sam Latona, he lets guys get really deep on his legs. Sam Latona got to Vito's legs really deep at least 5 times. It seemed like every time Sam Latona was taking a shot, he was getting super deep on Vito. Now, Vito only gave up 1 takedown because he has great defense from that point. But you can only defend so long when you're letting them get in that deep on your legs until you give up a takedown. And we saw that in the Sam Latona-Vito match. The other thing I noticed in that Vito-Mikael McGee match, Mikael McGee is lightning quick. He is so fast. That low single he shoots when he's down on his knees is in an instant he's right on his opponent's legs. And Vito, I don't know if he didn't respect Miguel's quickness or just didn't expect it, but Mikael shot that low single so quick and got the takedown within less than a second. And Vito really didn't lower his level and respond to when Mikael McGee dropped to his knees. Lucas Bird, if you remember Lucas Berg in the All-Star Classic, when Mikael McGee dropped to his knees, Lucas Bird follows suit. He dropped to a knee, he put a hand on the mat and matched Mikael McGee's level. And Vito really didn't do that. He stayed up on his feet. He was standing tall. and that allowed Mikhail McGee just to laser right in for that low single. And then a little bit more on the Sam Latona Vito match. It was a 3-2 match, but it wasn't your stereotypical 3-2 match. There was a lot of action there and a lot of good wrestling exchanges. The one thing I really liked about this match is Sam Latona, he came out ready to win. He wanted to win this match. He thought he could win this match. And that's one of the great things about college wrestling is these guys expect to win. Even though Sam Latona lost to Vito earlier in the season 6-1, but you could tell he was going to wrestle hard and do whatever he had to do to get this win over Vito Arujau. The last thing on 133 pounds, RBY beats Taylor Lamont of Wisconsin. RBY still has a 100% bonus rate. That's important if he wants a real shot to win the Hodge Trophy. I'm coming out with a video later this week on who the front runners are right now for the Hodge Trophy. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that video and other future videos. And I'm trying to get through 1,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. At 141 pounds, Jordan Titus beats Cole Matthews. Cole Matthews wrestles a lot of close matches. Too many close matches, some might say. If you wrestle these close matches over and over again, you're liable to get burnt. And we saw that in this match with Cole Matthews versus Jordan Titus. Cole Matthews really needs to develop one offensive attack that he can count on that's kind of his go-to when he really needs it. He's a big re-attack guy and he's really powerful and he's really tough to take down, but if you're always relying on one exchange, sometimes that exchange might not go your way. And that's what kind of played out in this Jordan Titus match. I'm not counting out Cole Matthews to win a national title. At the national tournament, you got to win the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals. And if you wrestle all those matches within 1 point, kind of makes it tough to get 3 of those in a row. Casey Swiderski loses to Jesse Vasquez of Arizona State. If they wrestled again today, I would pick Casey Swiderski. To me, he looked like the better wrestler overall. He just had a few mistakes here and there. First, you have to get off bottom. He got taken down in the first period and got ridden for like 30 seconds. You have to get off bottom. In the second period, he cut Vasquez with 20 seconds left in the period, and he really needed to try to ride him out there. I think he instinctively just cut him because he wanted to go after him again. So a little bit of a bad mat tactic in that situation, something he can fix in the future. And then obviously he got the locking hands call right at the end of regulation. Not necessarily bad mat tactics, but it's a mistake that he can fix, and you probably won't see him do that in the future. The one thing I will say about Casey Swiderski, he's got to get off bottom. You have to be able to get off bottom. He got ridden by Real Woods, and then he got ridden and wasn't really close to getting escape in the first period. And if you want to win a national title, you have to be able to get off bottom. You don't have to be a great rider to win a national title. There are lots of guys who win national titles, getting takedowns and getting escapes, but it's going to be very difficult to win a national title if you can't get off bottom. So that's something he has to figure out moving forward. At 149 pounds, Austin Gomez over Shane Van Ness. Gomez, to me, looked like the better wrestler right now. He controlled the first period. He rode Shane Van Ness really tough. Finished the first period up 2-0 with over a minute of ride time. But there does feel like there is a path to victory here for Shane Van Ness. He got in really, really deep on Austin Gomez a couple times. He's just got to find a way to finish those takedowns in the center of the mat. And then Austin Gomez got super, super tired. If that happens again, I feel like in the next match, Shane Van Ness is going to make him pay. So Austin Gomez has to figure out the gas tank. Shane Van Ness also got really tired. I don't expect to see that in the future. So if Austin Gomez wants to continue to get this win, he's got to figure out his own gas tank as well. The last match I want to touch on at 149 pounds, Kyle Parco over Panero Johnson. And again, if this match happens today, even though I just watched it, I would pick Panero Johnson for a few reasons. Panero Johnson hit 2 nice fireman dumps. but he gave up a takedown right at the end of the second period. The second takedown Kyle Parker got was in overtime against a very, very tired Panero Johnson. The reason why I wouldn't pick Kyle Parker in the rematch is I look for, is that path to victory a repeatable path to victory? You can't always count on a takedown at the end of a period, right? You can't always count on someone getting super tired and getting a takedown in overtime. Because of how Panero Johnson was really able to get those 2 takedowns in the first period, I would pick him in future bouts versus Kyle Parker. But that was a really, really fun match. If you didn't watch it, I highly recommend you go watch that match. A lot of good wrestling happened in those 7 minutes. At 157 pounds, Brayton Lee loses to Trevor Chumley of Northwestern. Brayton Lee coming into the season was some people's picks to win the national title. Based on his last few performances, that's probably not going to happen. We're now starting to question, will he be able to make the All-American podium? Other notable news at 157 pounds, Levi Haynes of Penn State got a major decision over Garrett Model. It does look like Kel Sanderson is going to pull Levi Haynes' red shirt. Levi Haynes looks ready to compete in the makeup of this 157-pound weight class and potentially could get really, really high on the podium. I'm not there yet where I'm ready to say he's going to be top 3. He looks really good, but he doesn't have that marquee win yet. Garrett Model, ranked number 16, is his best win. He does have a strange loss to an unranked guy, but he is continuing to get better. He is a true freshman. True freshmen sometimes have weird losses, but I would really like to see him versus a top 10 guy before I'm ready to say, okay, he's going to finish in the top 3. But it does look like Levi Haynes is on the trajectory to be another really, really good Penn State wrestler. At 197 pounds, Zach Bronigal beats Jacob Warner. And this is kind of more the status quo of 197 pounds. Everybody's beating everybody. The 1 seed's probably going to have at least 2 losses before all is said and done. Jacob Warner, this is his 3rd loss on the season. I know his loss to Rocky Elam technically didn't count, but it is a data point we could consider. It's his 3rd loss. Again, he's got to find a way to generate a little bit more offense. Super tough to take down, but just like Cole Matthews, if you leave the match up to 1 exchange, you're liable to end up on the wrong side of that exchange sometimes. So that's what I got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and let's build a community around the sport that we love. And I'll see you in the next video.